Alright you guys, so it is Vlogmas day 18, man, and like we told y'all yesterday, we really just chilling until Sunday, because we got big bangers coming for you the week of Christmas. But right now, man, we just gotta chill, and you know what better way to chill with y'all
than with food.
A nice little mukbang slash story time. So as you can see by the title of this video, hold up, matter of fact, my bad. Y'all ain't even subscribed yet. So while y'all at it, y'all got some seconds, we chilling. Hopefully you got some food in front of you too right now. Like this video, leave a comment on what you eating. So what you eating today? What they eating? And there's one more thing they need to do.
Turn the post notification bell on. Make sure you guys turn it on so you guys can be in tune with every single day. Next week we are definitely going to be doing more lit videos as well for you guys, so make sure you turn the post notification bell on so that you don't miss not one beat, not one day, not one video. But yeah guys, we're pretty much going to do a story time for you guys right now. We're just going to talk about some crazy ass stuff that happened to us during COVID. Some of our close friends have heard about it, but you guys haven't yet, so you know, we figured you guys are family, so we gotta tell you as well. And just kind of want to tell people in general, you know, just so that they could look out for snake ass people, because there's some snake ass people out there, you know, that be trying to get you and be trying to act like, you know, but they're really out there trying to snake you. So you know, we started to learn our lesson a little more every day, but this definitely was a big lesson learned, so we about to definitely talk to you guys about it while we eat. And as you guys can see, we got buffalo wild wings, we got chicken wings, we got garlic parm,
mild wings,
and then these are honey barbecue. And we obviously got fries, gotta get fries as well. And I always ask for a side of honey barbecue sauce to dip my fries. I don't eat that. To dip my fries. These are cold though, because it took us a little while to get home. But yeah, so pretty much we got scammed during COVID.
Bro. Nigga scammed us, bro.
We got scammed for $3,000, our stimulus checks, and then some during COVID. That shit was crazy. That shit was sad. I wouldn't wish that shit on nobody. I don't know, I feel like there's so many fucked up people in this world that it's just, I don't know what's wrong with people.
Fact. So
tell them what happened.
I'll start, and then you know, we'll bounce back and forth, because it's two different perspectives. I would say I'm probably the most at fault, I guess. I don't know, I would say 50-50, but I did some dumb shit. I ain't gonna lie. So, in the beginning of the pandemic, we were coming up on the end of our lease at the place we're at now. And basically, you know, we were we're like apartment house hunting, just looking for a new spot, because we didn't want to stay here for another year. This was our first year living together, and it's been dope. And we were thinking like, yo, it's time for us to move into like a better place, more space, this, that, and the third. Because luckily for this crib, we're renting from an owner who's like a close family friend. Yeah. So it made sense for this to be our first place, because it was just easy and convenient.
Cheap.
Exactly, super cheap. So our lease was ending, and we were apartment hunting, or house hunting, whatever you want to call it. We're basically looking to start a new lease, so we're checking every website, from apartments.com to everything.
Howard and Hannah, everything.
Yeah, every single thing. And we ended up going on Craigslist. Now, reason being, right, Craigslist is like typically legit for like housing and stuff for the most part, but there's some details as far as things being remote that really played a factor with the pandemic that kind of cost us a lot of money.
And this was when COVID first started. Like, you gotta think back to the beginning of the year. What was this, like March? This was March. Yep. I think they gave out the stimulus checks in February, maybe?
Something, I don't know.
But, yeah.
So we do our research, we pull up the Craigslist, we find a spot in the same neighborhood we're in now, but a much nicer crib. Like, it was super nice. Like, it wasn't an apartment, it was a whole house, or it was advertised as a whole house. But it looked like dope. Like, it was like a 3-bedroom.
The backyard was huge. The kitchen was like stainless steel, fully furnished, like really nice. It
super
was, yeah.
nice.
It had a fireplace. That shit was fire compared to like what we have now.
Oh, dear. So, we emailed the owner, right? We reach out and we're like, yo, this place is dope. We're super interested. Like, you know, get back to us, right? If the place is still available. So he reaches back out and everything seems legit. Like, the email's legit. The person messaging is super legit, at least in the email. Now, mind you, these are COVID time. So when we
everything is remote.
Exactly. So when we asked if we could see the place, basically, and it made sense at the time because, like, you're not thinking you're getting scammed. And
places were actually doing this because we reached out to multiple apartments, and multiple apartments did the same exact process. Legit ones.
Exactly. So we reached out, and when we say multiple places, we're not talking multiple places on Craigslist.
We're talking about like
apartment complexes.
Yeah, and they said this is how we're doing tours. Exactly. It is virtual, like actual apartment complexes where you call the managing office. You got to do the application online, like the credit check, all that stuff. Like, it was all virtual. Like, your school was virtual. Literally, there was nobody working unless you worked at like a grocery store, a hospital, like medical. Even dental offices were closed, I think, and shit. Like, for
like, this was
only
the
emergency. Yeah, it was like when the shit first got crazy.
Yeah, and we live, like, for those of you who don't know, we live in New York. Like, we live in upstate New York, but it's the same restrictions during that time. So it was really bad here, as I'm sure you guys have heard. So there was nothing open. So basically what ended up happening, the alleged landlord, he sent us an email with videos of the actual crib. Inside, outside, every room. It was literally the exact same crib. And he sent us the virtual tour, which is like the videos of each room, somebody walking through the house, showing you what it looks like. So we asked him, like, hey, could we see it in person at all? And the way this person did it, they finessed us, but it sounded so believable because of the times we were in. Now, if it was pre-COVID, right, like, we're like, nah, this is weird. Like, what you mean?
But now COVID, everything is weird.
Exactly.
Weird is normal, apparently now.
So we thought it just made sense that this dude told us, like, so I can't let you guys in the house.
But you could go to the premises.
Exactly, but you could go to the property, look in the windows and things like that.
Walk around, go to the backyard.
Exactly.
And the backyard had like a patio as well, with like the opening windows, the opening doors, like the sliding doors, the glass ones. So you could literally see inside of the whole house. He was like, the glass door is open, like, not open, but it's visible. There's no curtain. You guys could literally see the whole house through there, like, you know, whatever.
Right.
So we're like, all right, shit, like, whatever.
Exactly. So we check out this crib. Mind you, we've already seen the virtual tour videos, so we watched those. We went to the crib, we saw it. We, like, fell in love with this spot. Like, we looked at each other like, yo, we moving here. Like, this shit's super nice. It's in the same suburban area that we want. We prefer not to live in, like, apartments. Like, we like our own space, living in a house. So we saw that. It was like that, too. So it just made it a lot more appealing, where it's like, yo, like, we'll have our own space. We'll have a backyard. We're in a nice neighborhood. All of that.
Driveway.
Exactly.
Garage.
So we agreed, like, yo, we're done looking. This is the place we want. Let's, you know, put the security deposit down, do everything that we need to. Let's secure this so that way, you know, we don't lose out. Because obviously, like, it's a really nice place. And we knew that if we waited, somebody else was going to get it. So we were kind of rushing too, because it had only been on the market for like a couple days before we found it. So we were just like, oh shit, like, I don't want somebody to take it before we get a chance to. So we get to the important part, and this is what made it seem even more legit. We get as far as, you know, paperwork and things like that to secure the place. And, like, this guy had, like, a whole, like, lease agreement. Like, details about the property that only an owner would know. Like,
wasn't there even, like, a lawyer's contact info on the bottom?
No.
Like, who had, or...
Oh, yep, it was. It was, there was a notary. So
From
someone
Florida
notarized it. Exactly. It was a notary, meaning that a witness, you know, can agree that the contract was legit. So we signed the lease. Everything is perfect. The landlord, because everything was so remote, like we couldn't meet him and stuff like that, because this was at the beginning of the pandemic. So it's like,
wasn't there a time when, or was it still during the pandemic, where he was like, oh, I'll come up and show you the place, but then he was like, oh, you know, COVID, this shit is crazy, like I can't make it, my family in Washington or somewhere.
That was before. That was like what he told us. That was like the reason he told us we couldn't meet and actually go inside the place yet.
COVID, and we're like,
he said he had family in another area that he was with, and it made sense because I don't know if you guys remember, but when it first happened, it was the craziest shit in the world. So if somebody
was seeing each other, like, bro, it was so crazy. Like, you stopped seeing your mom. I mean, your mom lived in Connecticut, but then she had moved back. Like, you stopped seeing your mom. I low-key stopped going to my mom's house. Like, now I go. But Jason was so serious about that. He's like, nope, we cannot go to people's houses. Like, we just can't do that. We stopped going to all of his aunt's houses. Like, we just stopped seeing people. Our goddaughter, like, we literally could not see anybody. Jason's like, nope, it's a dub. People aren't coming over here. We're not going over there. We're staying to ourselves. Like, it's clipped. So it was regular. It was the start of this shit. Like, it was literally the beginning of it. So when he tells us, nah, we can't be around each, like, no contact because of this and that and that and this, we're like, yeah, you right. Shit, we don't even want to be around you. Like, we scared too.
Exactly. So we finished the lease agreement. We signed it. He's like, all right, so here's a bank account. It's Bank of America. Make the deposit and I'll send the keys. Right? So
in a lockbox or whatever. He's in the mail or some shit.
Exactly. So this was where, like, it just seems so legit, y'all. Like, y'all probably watching like, bro, how didn't you know? But if you were in that moment with the pandemic first happening and as serious as social distancing was, based on the things he was saying, it all made sense. Like, all right, we can't actually see the place.
The crazy thing was, though, that literally we called legit places, like, not scams, legit apartment complexes and stuff.
The same process.
And it was the same shit, like, legit, like, real places that aren't scams, like, legit. And they were like, we're not doing tours. It's all virtual. You want to see it? We'll schedule the virtual thing. All this stuff. You can have access to the videos, all this stuff, whatever. So we're like, shit, that's what every place is doing.
So the landlord tells us, yo, make the deposit. I'll send the keys. So there were two things outside of the lease agreement and the notary notarizing the agreement that made it seem so believable. First, before we made the deposit, we told him, like, hey, we're going to make the deposit today. You can send the keys. And then obviously once we got the keys, we could go in the place ourselves and check it out.
Didn't he have a tracking number with our address and everything?
So what we got at first, we got an email from FedEx that a package was being sent. It had the entire tracking number. It had a barcode. It was legit. It was FedEx.
Like, we could have tracked it if we wanted to.
It was all legit. So we see that go up, and I'm like, all right, cool. Like, let's go make the deposit. Let's do it. So the deposit was like $2,500.
Yeah, it was pretty much $3,000.
Like, something like that.
It was 2 months of rent. I think was what it was, the first and the last month. And I don't remember if it was
that might have been
that was it. That was it.
So
2 months of rent.
Exactly. So we gather the deposit money. I make a run to Bank of America. And, like, it's the bank. So you're not thinking I could be getting scammed. Like, who the fuck would be dumb enough to try and scam someone at the actual bank? So I pull up to the bank. It's Bank of America. I should have knew. BOA. Scammers is out there. But I wasn't thinking that. A lot, yeah. But I wasn't thinking that, man. This is a crib. This isn't like me giving somebody my credit card number. Like, this is a crib. I'm not thinking somebody's finessing me on a crib during a pandemic. Like, whatever. But you live and learn. So I pull up the Bank of America. I give them all the account information. So I have this guy's account number, all of that. He sent it to us in an email, like, put it in this account.
Bruh. And didn't the bank manager confirm that it was a business account? They were like, it's a legit business account. Like, they're like, yeah, this is the guy, business, the name matched. It was like legit business account.
So the thing with that is, we were both a little sketched out. You know what I mean? Because we've never seen anybody do a lease and stuff remotely, because this was all new shit. But it was like, hey, this is the new normal. I guess this is just how it's supposed to be right now.
Yep.
So I get to the bank, I talk to the teller, give her the account information. She's like, oh, this account? Yep, that's the name. Boom, make the deposit. So I make the deposit. I reach out to the guy like, hey, made the deposit. It's in the account. Boom, you should be good. We'll be waiting on the keys. And he's like, all right, cool. So
we fucked up though, because we made the deposit cash, which now going forward, I feel like anything with any rent, like our rent, we pay it like remotely through like, you know, remote. But I feel like if it's anything that requires being deposited into an account, I feel like going forward it's either a check or a money order, because they told us if we would have had that, we would have been good. But because it was check and money order, we kind of fucked up.
So after making a deposit, we get back to the crib, and I'm like, all right, babe, I did it. Boom, boom, boom. So like I said, I was a little sketched out, because there would be sketchy shit throughout it, but it just sounded like, I don't know, it didn't sound like we were getting finessed. It just sounded like, all right, dude, like, it's not that hard to understand how to do this. But then again, everybody was adjusting to being remote. So I guess you kind of understand, like, all right, maybe that didn't make sense or whatever. So we get to the crib, and me being me, just being a little skeptical, I did some research. What I should have done before, and that's why I said I kind of take some responsibility for, like, being a little silly. So basically, I Google like the person's name. I like the notary who like signed the lease. I went and looked him up on LinkedIn.
But did you do that right away? I feel like you did that a few days later. Was it right away?
I think it was like the same day. Because the same day that I deposited the money, I went back.
Really? For some reason, I thought it was like the day after or some shit. It could have been the same day, but I feel like it was the day after.
But I did some research. I go online and I'm like looking up everybody's name. So the name of the actual landlord matched the name of a lawyer that's in the city that we live in. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I run that actual lawyer's name online and stuff. You know, I'm digging. That actual lawyer in real life is a lawyer, but also owns properties. And he owns the exact same property that this guy scammed us with.
So he did scam and he did identity theft.
Exactly.
So he did some shit.
Exactly.
This guy is like the guy who scammed us. You could tell he's a legit scammer.
100%.
Like, he's a scammer. Like, that's what he does.
100%.
So that shit was crazy.
Oh, dude. This guy, like Rock said, was doing identity theft and like running a scam. So when I find this lawyer guy who's in Rochester, I find his info, his contact info, but his phone number is different from the guy that we've been communicating with. So that put like a red flag up immediately. So I call the number and I get his secretary. So this guy's a lawyer, important guy, I'm sure, busy guy. So I get his secretary, and his secretary's like, hey man, that's what's calling. I'm like, yeah, my name's Jason. I'm leasing a property from X, Y, and Z. Is he available? And she's like, yeah, I'll give the phone to him now. So it seems legit. So I call this guy. And I'm like, hey, you know, I just wanted to... Actually, it was a few days later.
It was, because you even spoke to the Howard and Hannah people or something.
No, because I called this guy to see if the keys were still coming. Because he said like it should be there in 2 days.
But then he kept giving you the runaround. He said some shit about family. Bruh, they even tried to get more money out of us, too. You remember that shit? That shit was wild.
That's a whole other story.
That shit, man.
So, boom, I call this guy. And I'm like, yo, are the keys still coming? We haven't gotten them yet. He's like, hey, what keys? Like, I'm not sure who I'm speaking with. I'm like, Jason, we've been talking about the crib on X, Y, and Z Street, boom, boom, boom. And he's like, I'm sorry, man, but I've someone else signed that lease. I'm not sure. I'm like, what you mean? I just signed the lease. I just put the account in the deposit. He's like, not with me, man. I've already closed that place. I have people moving in. I can't give you their names, but I have like a whole family moving in. I'm like, what you talking about? We just put the money in your account with your name on it, crib with your name, boom, boom, boom. He's like, nah, man, that ain't me. Somebody like stole your money. So
now
after that, I'm hot. So I call at first, like I called the guy that was scamming. I'm like, yo, y'all niggas scammed us? Like, nah. Like I'm, you know what I mean? I ain't going crazy.
That was literally what you said. I feel like it was like, nah.
Bro,
like,
there's only so much you can do. I'm not gonna spaz like, oh, I'm gonna hurt you. Like, what's that gonna do? Like, I don't even know where this person. They probably like, somewhere in another country.
Took the bread out already. Living good.
So
came up.
He's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, bro, I just talked to the actual homeowner. The fuck you mean you don't know what I'm talking about? Like, you stole our money. So I hang up because at that point, there's nothing you can do. So I hang up. As soon as I get off the phone, I jet back to the bank. So I'm hot, but I'm not that hot yet because I'm like, well, shit, I put it in the bank. I could just
take the
pull
money
up
out
and be like, yo, give my money back.
She saw us with the whole, like, we went with everything. Like,
bro,
she saw the emails, everything.
paperwork.
So she knew. And she remembered
even the
you.
receipt.
She remembered it. She was like, you guys were so excited to move into this place. Oh my gosh. I feel so, that shit, man.
So I pull up to the bank, and Rock mentioned it earlier, but basically, and y'all beware of this, bro. If you ever sign a lease or give somebody money,
shit. We learned.
If somebody has an account and they tell you to put money in it,
don't put cash.
Check or money order.
Period.
Because according to the bank, they cannot give you back money if it's cash. If it was a check or money order,
it's like this. They
can give it right back.
She could have just given that to you right back.
Right back. As long as you have the receipt, she could give it right back. But if it's cash,
done.
It's slow for you. Your money's gone, bro. Like, it's over. You know what I mean? So if you ever in that position, you know what I mean? Don't use cash. I wouldn't even recommend using cash if it's like, say you buying a car from somebody and they say put money in the account. Don't use no cash, bro. You put money in an account, you always use check or money order. Because even if they can't refund you, they can track where that money order. And they can track. They can track who cashed that, where that check was cashed,
where, what,
like all of that. You know what I mean? So they can figure it out. But don't do it, bro.
That's pretty much it. That's really all we gotta say about that. You know, like this video up, it's obviously like some crazy ass shit. You know, this story isn't like your typical story, but make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what you guys think. Comment down below if this has happened to you guys or like anybody that you guys know. You know, and if you guys have any suggestions, advice, or like how would y'all have handled it if this would have happened to y'all. Shit was definitely a learning lesson. We definitely learned from that not to do that shit again. But yeah, like we said, like this video up. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel. We're gonna be doing more story times, just telling you crazy shit that we've been through, have experienced. You know, comment down below any questions you guys may have, or I don't know if we went through certain shit, maybe we did and y'all want to hear about it. Give us some topic suggestions as well. And yeah, make sure you guys turn that post notification bell on, because tomorrow we will be dropping another banger for Vlogmas Day 19. All right. So yeah, with that being said, see you guys mañana.